Can you? You're on the road, right, Dominic? You're just on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah. So use your imagination.
Yep.
Hilaire, can you see my screen now?
Yep.
So this is a demo system, and maybe what I should do is just register you right away. So if you want to play with this, what's your email address, Hilaire?
Dispatch at Morano Truck Lines.
Did I spell that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Almost. ELAR, like that?
ALLAIRE.
Whoa, I was way off. Say that again.
ALL.
Oh, ALL.
AIRE.
Okay, cool. Like that.
Yep.
Okay. You'll get an email in a second. Oh, well, maybe you won't. Hold on. Yeah, maybe you did. Did you get an email?
Not yet. Oh, there we go.
Okay, cool. So that has a link in it, and it's a demo system. You can share it with Dominic, or he can just create his own username if he wants.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So back to this. I'm just going to give you a cursory generic demo, and you can start firing away with questions. The system started actually the browser-based version was 1997. So we've been in the cloud for a little over 20 years. So the heart of the system is this inventory item master list that you see. You still there, Hilaire? I think I lost you.
Okay, sorry, we lost you there.
Yeah, no problem. I heard you drop off, so I went quiet on the recording.
Okay.
Okay, so the heart of the system, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so the heart of the system is this item master list. And you can have as many virtual or physical warehouses as you need or want. And when I say as many, it's a SQL Server database. So I think we've run into a couple of practical limitations. We have one system with like 1.5 million parts, and that system runs pretty slowly. When you start getting into really big numbers, we need to throw some serious hardware at it uh, and really optimize things. But practically speaking, almost all of the lists here are virtually unlimited in practical terms. Okay?
Okay.
So you can edit the attributes of an item by clicking on the pencil, and hopefully you'll see a lot of consistency in the screens. A lot of it is kind of this Excel format. Um, we have rows and columns. We call it a grid, and hopefully you'll see a lot of consistency across the system. So once you start to learn the icons, movement becomes pretty easy across. So you can edit the attributes by clicking on the pencil. You can generate barcode label for the product by clicking on the little label icon there. Now this is a sample, it's like a UPC code almost, item ID label. I think it's 1 by 2. We usually customize these labels to meet, your requirements. But this is just what we have in the demo system. If you said you wanted it to be 2 by 4 and have, I don't know, the date and time and location or something, it would, we would adjust the label accordingly. If you click on this field, this shows you all of your warehouses and where the item is active in. So in order to keep the list shorter, say you had 1 million different parts, but you only had 250,000 in each of these 4 different warehouses, you'd only put the part in the appropriate warehouse, and then working in the system gets much easier, much faster. You can do reorder points, by warehouse, by part. Okay. I don't know if that really applies to you as a 3PL or not. You can have pictures of your items. Okay. You can have multiple pictures. So you can have I think it's 16 or 20. There's actually a limit to that, but I've never seen anybody use more than 2 or 3. The history shows
the pictures of the item. Can you take that and upload it directly into the system, or you have to take it from whatever you take the picture with and then download it and then upload it?
Let's see. That's a good question, because in our mobile version, we just enabled the camera to scan barcodes, which is basically taking a picture. It's an interesting question, because we have another couple of systems that we've done for insurance companies, and they take pictures of the products at like the receiving dock, because a lot of times the stuff comes in damaged and they want to record the condition when it comes in.
Right, exactly.
So can't remember exactly how that works. If it expects you to make a JPEG first, or if it just like uploads right from the device. I have to check on that. I can't remember. I know that if you take a picture and create a JPEG file and then upload that, that'll work. But I'm not 100% sure if you can go right from the camera into the system. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh, I clicked on there's a little history button here, and that'll show you the audit trail for the item. Now this is a test system, so there's not much data here, but it shows you the movement of the item in terms of every time it was received, issued, or located and moved in your warehouse. So from a 3PL perspective, we can use this for billing purposes. It'll tell you every time an item was touched. You probably have, I don't know, all the 3PLs I've talked to, every customer of theirs has a different sales model almost. But this helps us generate like invoice reports. If we go, I'm kind of jumping around here. If I go to inventory, there's all sorts of built-in reports. All right. And one of them in here is the audit trail. So, why am I not getting more? I'm going to switch systems real quick. If I can get some more data here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is showing you all the different item IDs and if they had serial lot number tracking or not. So the system will track 2 serial numbers and a lot number and an RFID number, which are all unique and independent, and an expiration date. I don't know if you get into expiration dates or not, but so generally we do first in, first out when we're doing our
We do have first in, first out.
Right. That's what our default picking, and we also have a pick path. So you can specify the order that your bays are picked in to try to minimize, chaotic warehouse fork truck traffic. I don't know if that'll apply to you or not, but we have it. Let's see. Feel free to jump in, Alair, if you got any. Here are the warehouses. So if you need to add a new warehouse, you just click Add New. And you come in here. The checkbox tells you which fields are required. So it's only those 2 boxes. So I just made a Murano trucking warehouse.
Okay.
And here it is. Oh. Sorry, goof that up. Oh, whatever. Where is it? What happened to it? You saw me create that, right? I saw it on the list. Yeah. Oh, I purged it. I'm sorry. This is my sandbox data, and this purge button is usually not there.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, it's a way of deleting warehouses, and we don't let end users do that. But when I'm doing sample demo stuff, so apologies, I hit the purge button by mistake. So, and then you can keep track of whether it's a build to address, a ship to address, a ship from address, and there's a warehouse or not by just checking these off. And again, it just, if it's not a build to, then don't check it off. So it just simplifies. When you're navigating through the rest of the system, you won't accidentally do something. Locations, you can have as many locations again as you want in your warehouse. I don't know how you do your racking and your aisles and your bays and your bins, but these are just free-form text fields. So again, you click the Add button.
Okay.
And if my typing was better, click Save. Oh, gotta pick a warehouse. We do have a couple of warehouses, a couple of locations that we kind of count on. One is dock. It's kind of inherent to the system that every warehouse have a dock location. We do have this hold feature. So if you mark a location as hold, it's a way of isolating the product so that the customer doesn't think it's, it's like a quarantine area. Okay.
Okay.
So you can have multiple quarantine areas. We don't limit you to just one. Let's see, what else? Those are locations. I don't want to, we have assets, we have transits to move product between warehouses. So if you were a manufacturer and you had 4 distribution centers, and you wanted to move product from one distribution center to another distribution center, you could use a transit slip. And what that basically does, it's like a locate and move, but it puts the product on hold and puts it in an in-transit state, so that you can't ship it or create a shipping order for it while it's in transit, because it's kind of in limbo. A carrier has it, and then when it gets received at the destination warehouse, then it gets taken off a hold and put in the inventory there. So it's just a way of kind of safely moving product from building to building with less confusion. We have bill of materials and assemblies. I don't know if those apply to you or not. A bill of materials is like a kit. Or actually, yeah. So here's a first aid kit. And then these are all the components that make up the kit. That
okay.
may or may not that may or may not apply to you. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I mean, we don't do the manufacturing here, so.
Right, but I thought I saw, and maybe I was looking at the wrong place, where you guys did like display assembly or something like that. So I don't know if.
No, we're not doing that. But the new customer, there's no kitting necessarily involved, but I'd have to pull multiple items from different locations and then put it together, strap it, and band it.
Okay. So that might be a bill. That might be a bill of materials. But one thing you'll hear me say a lot is there's many ways to skin a cat.
Okay.
So we tend to customize the software to fit your process, and we may or may not use something in here. It's kind of like sometimes we'll, I don't know, how does that saying go? Borrow from Peter to pay Paul. There are catalogs that you can print, and it's kind of like, let's see if this one's better. Yeah, all the pictures are gone. There's supposed to be a picture in the middle here, but it's kind of like a catalog that you can print out so you can see the item. And then there's an item ID barcode here and the description. Let's see. There's a barcode catalog. Come on. There we go. Okay, so this is a little bit more condensed report of all your item IDs, barcoded again. So it's the kind of thing you could print out and put on a binder on a fork truck, or maybe put it at a shipping station if somebody needed a barcode.
Okay.
I don't know. Leasing, that is when we send out inventory to a customer and we expect to get the inventory back. Okay? A shipping order for us, we ship items out and we basically archive the items that we shipped out. If we move them out of the active inventory. With leasing, it's kind of like a shipping order, except we don't get rid of the data from the active inventory table. We just mark it as leased to customer XYZ. The analogy I'll give is we have some large construction companies that lease tools to the jobs, and then they get them back at the end of the job. And, they'll charge the job based on the quality of the tool when it comes back. If it was new, they'll charge them like half of the value to the job, and then they'll reuse that tool on the next job. So that's kind of what we use leasing for. Locate and move is just exactly that, to move stuff from one warehouse location to another. So if I wanted to move this, let's see, they're in dock now. This is where sometimes I get myself in trouble. I shouldn't get into details. So I'm going to move it from finished goods to A2. Okay, so see how it moved to A2 here?
Okay.
But you see how the screens are pretty similar, Hilaire?
Mhm.
Let's see, what else? What other kind of functions do you want to see? Oh, quick order. You might be interested in this one. This is like an e-commerce or a business-to-business commerce screen where your customers could come in and say, I want to ship, 10 of these, 5 of these, and 3 of these to customer, John Doe in Topeka. Okay. So this is actually what we intend to be a customer-facing screen.
Okay.
And there's different views that you can look at, and we can lock these views in because sometimes you don't want your customers to see what the cost is or what's available. You want them to just blind tell you what they want. Okay. So literally,
so they would go on and mark how many of each they want, and then it would just send a notification to us?
Yeah, it sends an email and creates a shipping order. So let me actually do this. Ship to Acme Chevron. So we'll pick 3 of these and 2 of these or 4 of these. Just click save. And it moves those 2 things to the top of the list. And then it lets you can put in a note here, talk to Hilaire before shipping. Save. Review. Place the order. Okay. So what we just did was create the shipping order with these 2 line items on it. All right. And if you, I guess I kind of didn't, the system users and employees have email addresses in them. There's email, see this email address here?
Okay, yeah.
So we can set up groups, distribution groups, or individual employees to get notification emails.
Okay.
The other thing we can do is we can put a pop-up that comes up down here that says a shipping order was just created. But, it's only a pop-up. And if somebody's flying through the screens, you might not see it. So let me just jump back to the system users. It's a lot like Windows security, and that might be a little technical, but you have users, and then you have groups, and you have group permissions. So for groups, by default, we do admin, employee, customer, supplier, and these are a couple I did in another demo. But these 4 at the top are our standard groups. Admin can do everything. Employee can do generally warehouse stuff. Customer can use that quick order screen and maybe see their order history and their inventory levels. And supplier can see, if you were doing vendor managed inventories, they can see their items and what they have in stock in whatever warehouses you assign them to. So with groups come group permissions, and like an admin can do everything, so that's why everything is checked off here. A customer can only do minimal things, And generally, I think in shipping, there's a couple of things they can do in shipping. And that's about all a customer can do. So usually what happens is during system setup, you'll tell us what groups you want, and we'll help you set them up, because it can be a little bit of, there's a lot of, these are all different system functions that you have to go in and set the permissions on. So it can be a little bit laborious and also tedious to figure out which checkbox to get. So we help you set it up. And then adding a new user is literally, you just come into system users, you click the add user button, and like if I wanted to add a layer, you have to use 6 characters for the password. And you pick the group that the person is in, and then you just click save. So if I log out and log back in, and log in as a layer, hopefully I remember the password. Yeah, I forgot to change the landing screen for that user, so that's why you got this this error. Let's see. I think I made it a customer, so you should be able to do, yeah, create shipping order. Okay. So you can see that when I logged in, the menu's really shortened. Like I can't click on. The only thing I can really click on is orders, and I can create a shipping order, or look at my outstanding shipping orders. Okay. And then you can create a packing, or you can look at the packing slip. These are all just PDF documents. So it's pretty standard. Every printer basically works with PDF nowadays. Here's an invoice. And again, we usually customize these to meet your need. All right. Pick list. I'm trying to make this bigger so you can see it. Pick list you probably use a lot of. But we can customize this document to match your picking process.
Okay.
Do you use barcode scanners much now?
Say that again?
Go ahead. No, what was your question?
When you say invoice, so the accounting is through your system?
No, we interface with QuickBooks and Sage 50 by default, and we'll interface with anything else you got. What do you use?
We use QuickBooks.
Yeah, so we have an interface to QuickBooks.
Okay.
And the way it works is we push to QuickBooks in general. So if you make a new item ID, you make it in Inventory Pro, and it automatically shows up in QuickBooks. You make a new shipping order or sales order, and it shows up in QuickBooks. Purchase order, same thing. Create the purchase order in Inventory Pro, and it shows up in QuickBooks. The reason we like to push to QuickBooks is with the reorder points, as an example, we have a utility in here that will tell you what you need to reorder. Let me log out and log back in as an admin here. So under utilities.
Well, that's so this system, it sounds like it's based if I was the manufacturer of the product.
Not, well, I mean, yeah, but it works for 3PLs too. For sure. We have appointments, which is like an advanced shipping notice. So if somebody sends you an ASN, we can load it as an appointment. And an appointment is like a PO, except there's no finance on your end. You're not paying for it. So that tells you what you're expecting. Now, my experience with 3PLs is you don't get ASNs near as much as you'd like. A lot of times, dare I say, the trucks just show up. Um, and then you load it into the warehouse that's applicable to the customer that you're dealing with. Um, are you doing any barcoding now?
No, but there's barcodes. Like we do handle lots of rolls of paper. So
Oh, really?
there's a barcode on the roll. The problem comes in at is when you scan the barcode, it only gives you the roll number. It doesn't actually give you all the detail of what we would need in our inventory.
Right.
Because the customers, when they go, they're just going to give you the size and the weight or the linear feet or whatever it is they give us for when they need an order. They don't give you a roll number or anything like that. So we have to go.
I have to tell you that my roots are in the paper industry. The very first inventory system I did was for a subsidiary of Scott Paper called SD Warren, which turned into SAPI. But we've done roll systems for International Paper, and the other one's escaping my.
That's basically what that's where is what we really truly need it for.
Really?
And some of our other customers, yes, but it's the rolls of paper, and then this new customer that we're trying to get, but that's a whole new animal that we haven't really done, and that's why we're really going after a new inventory system.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we know a lot about paper. Do you know Maslow or Five-Matics? They're local.
No.
Maslow's a broker in Malvern, so they're buying, seconds and job lot, and they have a warehouse in Charlotte. Interesting. Yeah, we know paper. We know paper pretty well. Is any of the paper stuff you're doing consignment, or is it all just?
Some of it is consignment. So the one customer we have, some of it's their own that they purchase, and all the other mills that they're purchasing from are on consignment.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, cool.
So I may have 3 different mills or 4 different mills that we may have to pull from when they're asking for it, and we have to notify the mills of what's left or what's there, because after so many days, then it gets transferred from one customer to the other.
Right.
Because
it ages out. 30, 60, 90-day aging, right? Huh.
So if they don't pull it, then they have to, the company has to pay for storage, not the other one. So we have to do an in-house transfer of the paper.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have any of the paper stuff in our. I have to tell you that this is our new look system, and we have an older. Let's see if I can bring it up. Might not even be able to bring it up. No. Let's see. I'm trying to remember a customer that's still using the old look. Yeah. This is one of those insurance customers in they're in Kentucky, I think. Oh. Yeah, you can see it's old, but it doesn't even work with Chrome. Huh. So if you don't mind me asking, which paper companies are you dealing with?
We handle Mondi, Corestack, Atlantic, a few other ones.
What kind of paper is it?
Pacific.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is our older skin system. So you can see the different menus, and slower and older, obviously. Here's International Paper. I don't know if we still have it up or not. No. We're working with one of the International Paper spin-offs, Evergreen, I think it's called.
Yes, I actually spoke to them.
Perry Britt's the guy. Yeah, Perry Britt's the guy that I've been working with, and he bought our system, in the 90s to do consignment for their board division, and then now he's part of this spin-off, Evergreen, and they're trying to put a consignment system in, and he's trying to get us in, but it's, even though it's a spin-off, it's still big enough, and there's a fair amount of rigmarole to go through. So we're still working on that deal. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The brokers I know are like Edgewood Paper, and
I haven't done anything with Edgewood. Aaron Group. They're out of Conshohocken.
Yeah,
they're pretty big. A couple of the other brokers they went out of business.
How long you been doing it, Dominic? How long you been in the paper? Quite a while.
Maybe 5-10 years now, in that range.
Okay, you're pretty new. Yeah, neat. Well, I can certainly. It's interesting. I'd like you to send me a list of the functionality you'd like to see on the paper side, and then I'll tailor a demo more to fit paper.
So that's where some of the other companies that we spoke to, not that they can't do it, but they're not really.
Yeah, I mean, they probably don't even know what a North American roll ID is.
It's a little different, and the new customer that we were bidding for, they're out of Canada, and they happen to use 3PL Central, and that's the other company that I was talking to.
Okay.
They have a nice system. Say again?
It's not Domtar, is it? The Canadian company? There's a lot of Canadian paper companies.
No. It's not a paper company. It's cabinet company that sells to like Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon.
Okay.
They use this 3PL Central. So the system's nice, but there's so many things that they have on there that we don't necessarily need.
Right.
And the cost is just, I don't know what your cost is, but the cost of this company to do the system and everything was just outrageous. And
well, I mean,
the revenue that I'm producing.
Yeah, it wouldn't support it. Yeah, right. So to jump we have a 3-user minimum, which might be enough for you. And it's, if you do the SaaS model where we host it for you, software as a service, it's $80 per user per month, so $240 a month. If you wanted to buy it and put it on your server, it's $1,000 per user, and then it's $200 per user per year for the maintenance fee. On the SaaS side, there's no maintenance fee, so there'd probably be some customization up front. I'm not sure how much. Maybe, I don't know, I'm going to guess, $5,000-$10,000 worth of customization. And then, if you're looking at it's concurrent users. So you could have 100 users in the system. We're just counting people that are active at the same time. Okay.
And when you say users, that means my employees, not the customers.
Right. You get unlimited customers.
Okay.
And we also have a mobile interface. So, and this runs on, just going to change my screen layout so you can see it scale to the screen. This runs on Android smartphones, iPads, and and industrial scanners. Here, let me show you. This is our website, and there's a, come on. So it'll run on, all of these kind of things. And the way we use Bluetooth scanners generally when you're using a smartphone or tablet and you want to use a speedy scanner. So these socket mobile scanners will clip to the back of your phone or your iPad, and they work with Bluetooth in the device. You can use keyboard wedge scanners with like a Windows Surface tablet or a desktop or a laptop. And then you can use industrial scanners that have built-in scanners. So there's you're not locked into any one type of scanner. You can use all of these in different parts of your warehouses at different times. Like I'm sure you guys have smartphones. So if you're at home and somebody has an inventory question, you can literally go on your phone and look it up and answer the question right there.
So we could use, instead of scan guns, you would just use your phone?
Right.
Okay.
With your phone, if you don't have a Bluetooth barcode scanner or some sort of scanner, you can just type in whatever you need to type in,
Okay.
Instead of scanning the roll number, you could just type in the roll number, assuming there's human readable underneath the barcode. But if you do have a Bluetooth scanner, and we've just enabled the camera to allow, that you can turn on the camera, and it will throw out a red line, and you can line up the barcode and scan the barcode using the camera, the phone, or the tablet.
Okay.
It's a lot slower. If you're going to do a lot of scanning, you really don't want to use the built-in camera. But you can use it. And then we work with standard label printers too. So if you need to print labels, you can use Zebra, Datamax, whatever, Epson. A lot of our customers actually kind of like steal the FedEx or the UPS label printers, and then we use those. So
that works.
Yeah, those printers you can buy from eBay now for like $75. And the same for these USB tethered scanners. These are really affordable. So if you have desktops or laptops, you can put really inexpensive scanners on them. So with the mobile version, it's set up mostly for doing warehouse type functions. So search, receive, issue, move, certify, you probably won't use. That's like if you had a harness or a scale or something that needed to be certified, every 6 months or annually to make sure it was safe or accurate. Cycle counting, quick issuing through scanners. You can look up orders. Again, leasing. So the mobile's set up primarily for, basic warehouse functions. Good. But it'll show you pictures again. So we find pictures helpful for people that don't know what they're looking for, so they can relate to, what they're supposed to pick. But it's not a requirement. So Valera's gone quiet on me. She's probably gone back to work.
Multitasking. But no, I'm watching.
Yeah, why don't you, I guess I would suggest send. You have we have all the lists, so you can print bills of lading. Again, it's just a PDF document. Bills of lading tend to be really customer specific. So again, we would expect you to say, I need you to change this, this, and this, and we'll change the bill of lading for you, make it look like yours.
So if I send you an email and say this is exactly what we need, can your system do it, or can you make it this way?
Right. I would send back.
Companies.
Yeah, I would send back. Check, check, check. We can do these, and then
Okay.
we'll have to customize to do this, and we'll have to customize to do that, and this is what what we would estimate the customization to be.
Okay.
And if you can, we really prefer phasing things in. Like get started with the basic functionality, and then just kind of roll things in as you need them. But
that email I did send you for the EDI stuff, did you see that?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Now,
there's no layouts here, but yeah, sure, we can do EDI. I was going to show you there's utilities with an import export, and we have the ability now to do shipping orders. I forget what those transactions were. I think it was 940. There's like shipping notices and bill of lading, and there's inbound and outbound shipping transactions basically, and then a confirmation transaction. And we don't care. I remember in the document it said EDI or XML, and we can do either of those.
Okay.
So again, though, it's going to be a customization because everybody's EDI format is different.
Yes.
So New Age, I'm sure, is only using certain fields, and we'd customize it to match their fields.
Okay. I think the best thing is if we can, we'll shoot you an email either, probably tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a paper company, right?
New Age?
New Age?
No, it's a cabinet company. And
this is the Canadian one.
Yeah, and it's a big account, and that's what I'm trying to figure out to make sure we're able to do everything they're asking for.
Yeah, sure. We would probably, well, I shouldn't guess, but I would guess we'd want to do XML and FTP.
And a lot of stuff they do ship out, like UPS or FedEx. Your system would be able to print them out and keep an inventory of all the tracking numbers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have tracking numbers on the shipping orders now. So let's see if I go into a shipping order. See this packages? This is where the tracking number stuff goes. You can't see it. Imagine seeing a screen with tracking numbers, Dominic.
Okay.
But Larry can see it.
Yeah, it's just
a really simple screen.
Spreadsheet. Yeah.
Right.
Easy to navigate.
And these tracking numbers, we can make them hyperlinks. So you just click on them, and it takes you to the UPS or FedEx or DHL or whatever. And there's labels, and again, all this stuff is customizable, and the logos are all easily changed. So we would just, upload the Murano Trucking logo, and boom, it's changed. So, and the other thing, just so you know, is there's a lot of custom fields in here, Alaire.
Mm-hmm.
You see this customize button down here? When you click it, it takes you to the underlying, all the fields that make up that screen, and you can turn them on and off, and you can change the label. So if we call something, I don't know, notes, and you want to call it descriptive notes, you just change this here, and it changes what everybody sees. All right.
I got to run.
Okay.
Alaire, I just, you guys can finish up, and if there's any other questions or anything going on, then I can watch that video you said you could upload, and I do a list of questions.
Right. I'll stick the video on YouTube and send you a link.
All right. Awesome.
But
all right,
I think
we'll see you guys later.
See you.
Bye. Okay, so I've got some more time.
Okay. So what do you want to see? So what would probably happen with the EDI stuff is we'll just make some more. It'll be part of this import-export stuff, and then what we'll have is like the audit trail. We'll show all the transactions that come in and out. The EDI transactions in here in like an EDI audit trail. Okay.
Okay. So if someone sent an EDI since we haven't used EDI, I'm not super familiar with them, but I guess it would be like a list of what's coming in on a
right
something. So if we accept that, that would go into the inventory, and then when they scanned it here, it would be marked as received. Is that how it works?
Right. Okay. Exactly. What we would probably do is put it in some sort of like in transit hold status, and then when you scan it, it would come off of hold, assuming that it was not defective or needed to be quarantined, and put it in a warehouse location.
Okay.
So you'd basically scan it and pick a location and tell it where to go. But we would give you a screen like the item master list. Actually, it probably would be the item master list. We'd put a column here for, expected or in transit to you. And then you can click on it, and it'll show you the details. And, in the expected incoming EDI, we would probably have a link here that would take you to that actual EDI XML feed and show you the file.
All right.
If you haven't looked at one of those files, they're kind of ugly. They're pretty cryptic, but I wish I had the system up. I'm trying to think what it's called. Come on, work for me. We did track and trace, and we don't do it anymore. They've put in SAP and replaced the software. But it was all those same transactions, and so we've had an EDI log, and basically what happens is they send the files in FTP, and we just process them one at a time as they come in, and then they show up in the log, and if there's any errors, we flag an error. Trying to think what an error would be. Like if they sent you an item ID that you didn't have, that would probably trigger an error. Or we'd make a customization to create the item ID on the fly. I don't know how. Maybe this cabinet maker, I don't know if they make custom built stuff, so they send all new items on almost every order, or they.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Or they just send you stock stuff, and once you have the part lists loaded up, usually they don't deviate from it. So we'd have to figure that out case by case, or instance by instance. So the other thing I can do is ask my guys where the system is. They probably took it down. And yeah. Let me find it, and then the next time we talk, I can show you some of the EDI transactions and how they work.
Okay. And then how about just, if you're doing an end of the month inventory report for a customer?
Oh, sure. Under reports, under reports, inventory, you could do like inventory valuation or maybe inventory count. Inventory count report. Okay. And you can put filters on any of these reports. So say you wanted to see category OTC medication, come to filters, add a filter, category is equal to OTC medication, save, report view. And now I filtered everything out except for the OTC, the stuff that's categorized as OTC medication. And then on all of these screens where you see this Excel kind of format, you can export it to Excel.
Okay.
And then once you're in Excel, you can do whatever you want. I got two screens going here, so hold on. My Excel opened up on the other screen. So there's that report out in Excel. Pretty much.
Okay, and you can add to these columns if you need more information to be shown?
Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the whole system setup is, well, here, let me jump you over to another one. eParts. This guy is in Kentucky, and he sells Caterpillar parts.
Okay.
If I can remember what his, I'll go into the dev one. It's better there anyways. So it's all heavy equipment parts, and he refurbishes them and sells them used, sells them new, marks the price up. You can see it's loading because this is the one with 1.5 million parts.
Oh, all right.
Okay, but if you can see that his item master screen has many more columns. He's got all these different. He's got different. He's got surplus, used, aftermarket, rebuilt columns and weight column. So there's just, I don't know, there's probably almost 10 extra columns here. So it's really simple to turn the grids on. And actually, if you're a programmer,
I'm learning.
You can do it. Yeah, you can do it yourself. That's what this is. This is the underlying view of that screen. Okay.
Okay.
So a lot of times, you'll call up and say, "Oh, I need to see this column." It doesn't take long for the guys to come in here and that know what they're doing, and change it. And this is basically how the reporting works as well. If you go into inventory, let me just pick a report. There's a definitions thing in here, and you can copy it. So if you wanted to make a new report that was similar to one we already have, you can just click the copy button and create a new name for it. Inventory, I don't know. I don't know where the menu name is. Yeah, I'm the sales guy. I'm not the programmer. So I get lost. Sometimes I go places I shouldn't go in demos. But this is, these are the columns and their width, I think. And then, you can change how it's ordered and sorted, and whether it's portrait or a landscape, and which fields are totals, et cetera, in here. So, but I'm checking. I'm canceling out of this. The other thing I should show the other thing I should show you here is all of these columns you can sort by. Oh, I'm still in Abe's system. Let me jump over here. It's faster. So if I go back to the item master list, you can click on the column, and it's you can see the little tick mark here. Now it's sorted ascending. If you click it again, it's sorted descending. Okay. And if you click it again, it takes the sort off. So if you wanted to see your inventory by minimums, or the ones that are back ordered the most, you can click on available, in stock. All right. So it's kind of like Excel, much more like Excel, because again, even in the item master list, you can click export, and it'll dump it out.
Now, would it keep track of stuff that has gone out, like if, like when it went out, and how far back would it keep track of that?
I don't believe we have a system yet where we've had to dump the history. So essentially forever.
Okay.
For the life of your system.
Yeah. So for instance, if we were using this for paper rolls, and our customer was like, "I swear that we still have this roll, and we'll know it went out in June," and we would be able to go out and find that.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely. Cool. So there's customers, there's suppliers, there's all sorts of supporting lists like carriers and I don't know, there's just all sorts of lists in here. All basically your pull down lists that you need to manage. And that's, a lot of times we have links in here. Anything that's blue will take you right to the list. So if you needed a different category, you can go right to the list and add a new one. These are all the different categories.
Okay.
Best
Does this
I
have
would
any
play
kind
with
of like load tracking, like a scheduling sort of portion to it?
No.
Okay.
Trying to think. How do you do it? I mean, will you do like multi-stop trucks? You know what I mean? So you're dealing with heavy paper.
You need to be, yeah, it would be pretty basic.
I would say it's something we could probably, if it's basic, it's probably something we could customize in. But I would phase it in, down the road.
Okay.
Let's make it successful first, and then add features, grow into it. I would play with it, and just call up an email and ask questions. Sounds like Dominic will send me an email tomorrow or next week with functionality he needs. And
yeah, he'll probably play around with it, and I'll play around with it, and we'll compare notes.
Right. And then I think we just go back and forth and do a few of these demos and work it out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, that's fine too. The other thing that's kind of nice is you guys are relatively close. I looked, you're only about, 80 minutes or so away from Allentown. Maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's about right.
So, it's not, most of our customers, to be honest with you, we never meet because they're too far away. And with technology nowadays and GoToMeeting like this and the telephone,
yeah, just easy.
we do everything remote. But since you're so close, we can come down and review and touch and feel and see what you're doing, feel your pain. So.
All right. Well, I will play around with it. That'll be really helpful.
Sure.
Should we get in there?
The one thing I'll warn you is in that demo system, we refresh it once a week just to purge all the stuff. So
okay.
if you want to do something where you're really trying to like mimic your operation and you want it to last, we can put up a test system for you. That'll be just you. And maybe we should do that anyways. Yeah, probably we should. I'll ask my guys to put up a test system for you, and then we'll give you an account, and you can import your item IDs and start using it like you'd actually use it.
Okay. Yeah, that would be helpful.
Right. Yeah.
I appreciate
that. I'll ask my guys to do that, and I'll get that to you in the next, tomorrow or Monday.
All right.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Alara.
Yeah. Thank you for your help.
You got it. And hopefully we can make something work.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. I'll talk to you.
All right.